Alright guys, what I'm doing is I'm connecting all the parts for the recirculating shower now. After going to get all the John Guest connections, I think I've got all of them. Actually no, I've still got to get the connection to the hot water system, because I haven't got the hot water system yet, and also the spin down filter I've got to get. However, the pump, which is a Seaflow 51 series, I've put the filter on the way the pump's supposed to go. As you can see, the arrow is going to the left and that arrow is going to the left, so from the water tank it's coming in this way and going through there. So I'm now, well, I'm not going to now put the spin down filter on because I don't have it, but I'm going to put the John Guest connection onto here. You can see I've used plumber's tape just there. I've also used plumber's tape there. Just hand tighten it on here. They don't want you to over tighten it, so I've hand tightened it. I'll do the same on here, which then gets me to the John Guest connection, which will go then to a connection on the spin down filter, which will be a John Guest connection as well. And coming in from the spin down filter, it'll be a hose pipe for memory. I've got to go out there and do that. So I'm just putting that on now. Just tightening it by hand. Now once it's all up and running, I'll go and check for leaks, so just hand tighten it. So there we go. Now it's ready to go, and I can get my hand in here to undo the filter when I need to clean it. So it just comes off nice and easy. Alright, so coming out from here, there'll be a John Guest connection off here, and it'll loop around to the filtration system, which I'll have to do all the connections for next. But I'm going to take this out to the bus and just sort of check it up so I can get the hoses cut to the right length. Alright guys, I'm cutting the pipe or the hose for the inlet for the recirculating shower. I've just cut it here. I'm going to put on a elbow as such. It's going to come across this way and then up and then through the filtration system. It's a 19mm hose or 3/4 inch hose. The same for the elbow. I'm going to have to heat the elbow up. Oh, sorry, heat the elbow. I'm going to have to heat the hose up so I can get this on. I've also got a ring or clamp to put on it as well to make sure it doesn't move, and then there's going to be that going across that way. Okay guys, I've measured up for where this is going to sit and I've marked along there, so I know that's where the pipe's going to be. I've positioned it basically where that pencil line at the back on the wall is straight going through there, so I can screw either side. The spin down filter is nearly 9 centimeters wide, so I've left the space for that in between there, so when I get it I can put it in. What I've done is I've drilled a couple of small holes through here to go on the inside. Okay, so I can see where it's going to attach to. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue a block piece on here with liquid nails, and then I'll be able to screw straight into that block, which will give us the support that we need at the back. So that's what I'm heading out to do now. So I'm hanging up the water filters now, and I want something pretty solid to screw into. Here, no problem. Here, it was right below this a noggin, so I've had to put another piece in, which I've done now. I've clamped it and liquid nailed it on so it won't move, which is when I can screw in, which will hold up our water filters. I did the same here for the water pump, and now I've realised I'm going to move the pump up above the water filter, so hopefully that'll work for the hot water system, but I get the hot water system tomorrow, so we'll see. I've just connected the UV filter. I've also installed the John Guest connections. They're ready for the tubing to go in. So basically how it'll run up into the spin down filter, which is on order coming from the States, then into the normal filter, then into the pump, which will be up here. Will come down and across into this side, go through the 20 micron filter, the 1 micron filter and a 0.5 micron filter. Then it will come up into the UV filter. From here it'll go down into the hot water service, and from there it'll go up to the shower, which will be somewhere up here. And that's how it'll sort of go. So anyway, I'm going to move the pump from there up to here now. Okay guys, I got my hot water system, Duetto Mark II. Now, this is why you've always got to measure. Okay, so I measured after the first few ones that I forgot about the water heater. I've measured back and I've measured it, which is fine, it fits, but then I forgot to add in the plywood on the back of the door, and as you go to close the door it doesn't close all the way. And the other thing I forgot to do is there's a bracket that sits on the back of here, which I didn't account for either, so I'm a little bit out and I can't move the wall now because it's all fixed. So I'm going to have to take this bit of the plywood off so it'll fit, and then I'll probably have to cut it down and re-put it on, so this part sits under. Hopefully that should allow the hot water system to sit in. This is the bracket, so it sits out a little bit more, so I don't think I'm going to be able to sit it on the wall. And if I sit it against the floor, it may work. I'm going to have to check. But yeah, so these are the problems. And the other thing is, it's not going to sit there. I'm going to have to sit it up at least over this one. So this is why you got to plan a long way ahead, or buy the stuff before you go fitting everything. So another mistake that I've made, just another one. Anyway, I'll sort it out. Good morning guys. Well, I've had to fashion up my own connection for this hot water service. When I used the brackets that they gave me, they stack out too far, so I couldn't close the doors. So what I've done is I've banged the brackets on an angle, and as you can see I've put a 90 by 40 mil piece of timber on both sides. So I fashioned the brackets to curve around this bit of timber. I've also cut another piece of timber to go flat on the floor, which then I'll screw up from beneath into here and into here, and that way when I go to mount the whole hot water system, I've got a point where I can drill down through the floor on either side, which I can get to. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to get to anything. The other thing is, I have got clearance for the filtration system, and I can unscrew this I've got room to get it out at the top, at the bottom. So for the time being, I'm going to leave that mounted where it is, and once I've got it all hooked up and I test it, I'm going to see if I can get those filters out without spilling all the water over the hot water system. If not, I'll move them up so I can get a bucket or something under them, so when I take them out I don't spill it all over there. I'm going to have a shut-off valve on either side of the filters, and this side will allow me to release the water as well, so I can get rid of all the stored pressure and water that's in there, so it shouldn't be too bad when I come to take the filters off. Now I'm going to pull these off again, and I'm going to paint them with the waterproof paint, and this as well. Once that's dry, then I'll put this all back together. I'll screw through this bit of wood into this bit of wood either side to hold that, and then I can mount this how it is. And I still can get to my plumbing. It's a little bit tighter, but I can get to it, and this will come around this side and then up to the filtration system, and I can get to my connections on the side here. So I've been able to maneuver it to get it in, but once again guys, make sure you have the equipment that you want to put in before you build the wall, so you can check that it fits. I've had to, as you saw when I was building the back wall of the bathroom, I've had to move it a couple of times, and now I've had this as well. So just a word of warning, make sure you have your equipment. Alright guys, I'm just now painting up the bracket that goes under the hot water system. I've just used the same waterproof paint that I used on the garage wall and floor. It's had the second coat on that. I've got to flip it around and do the other coat on that, but then it's ready to be connected to the hot water system again and put into the bus. So we're getting closer to getting at least the plumbing done for the recirculating shower. So while I'm waiting for the paint to dry, I've come in and fixed up the connections for the plumbing here. I've been using the pink plumber's tape. It's a bit thicker than the white one. With this hot water system, it's got a pressure valve that sits in before the cold water connection, so I've put that in. I've got the John Guest fittings on both of them ready to go. You can see what I've done with the brackets. I've bent them over so they can fit, and they're connected here. As I'll show you in a little video, I've taken how much room I've got between the back door and this section of the hot water system. It's fairly close, but it fits in, not a problem. Alright guys, here's it mounted up after I've painted it all. And all the screws are now in and set up. I've pre-drilled the holes that'll go into the floor of the bus, but I'm not going to put them into after all the plumbing's up and done. I'll sit the water heater in there, but I'm not going to connect it because I've still got to get to the pipes and stuff. This is how it looks sitting in the back of the bus. Once again, I haven't connected it down as yet because I've still got to work on getting the toilet connected, and I've got to make this a bigger line because it's got to go right up the top now instead of where it was before. But it's looking good. Alright guys, we're at Bunnings. Sorry about the noise because the fan's running right next to me. But we're going to go for this shower head just here. Not the handle, because we're coming out straight from the ceiling of the bathroom. So we've just got the shower head itself. It's one of those rain shower heads. And we've also gone for the square handle once again, because it's a recirculating shower, we're only using the hot water. So what I've done is I've got a plug, that's the word, to plug up the cold water coming in. So it's only going to have the hot water tap going into it. And then on the shower I've got the connection for the shower rose, and that'll sit up into the connection of the John Guest wingback. So that's what I've got. So we've gone the Mondella shower rose, that one there, and the chrome Mondella shower mix. G'day guys, I've just received a package of my spin down filter that I ordered from America last week. So it got here within probably 8 days. I can't even get a package from Melbourne in 2 weeks, so got to admire their work ethic. So I'll open it up and show you what it looks like. Alright, so this is what came with it. A bit of documentation. Comes with the connections by the looks of it, a drain pipe, some plumber's tape, this is a spin down filter. So basically what happens is this goes in before the pump and gets out all the crap that comes off the shower. Because it's a recirculating shower, there's going to be hair and just rubbish that comes through it. So it takes out all the heavy stuff before it goes through just the normal small filter into the water pump and then through the filtration system. So this is the first port of call for the water that comes back in. And it's got a 50 micron filter in there at the moment. They also give you a 200 micron filter, and by the looks of it, I'll give you extra connections that probably change. Yep, so that one changes it, that one goes over the top, so that just makes it a different size, I would say. So that's the spin down filter. It's from, I got it off Amazon, and it's a Sim Pure spin down filter. So I'll link where I got it from in the comments below, and if you want one, that's where you can get it from. Alright, for the spin down filter, they give you some attachments to change the actual diameter of the screw thread, which will then fit onto the John Guest connection. So what I've done is I've put some of the plumber's tape on. I've put a fair bit on just to make sure it's alright, and the finished one looks like that. So I've connected it on, then I'm going to put some plumber's tape around the end and screw this on, and that's how I get to my John Guest connections for the spin down filter. I've had to extend this piece so to get around here, then across to the back, and then it runs up all the way up here where I'll put the end piece on, and then it'll join into the spin down filter. Alright guys, just with the John Guest, because it's using hot water, you're supposed to use these little sleeves that's supposed to keep it from slipping out when it gets warm. So what I'm doing is I'm putting them all on the recirculating shower. so just in case. So basically all they are is a little sleeve, stick it in the end like that, and I just push it down, and we do the same on the other end. Okay, so it's just giving it a bit more rigidity, and then that just then goes into the end. Normally you just click it in. Yeah, so it's 2 clicks, you'll feel go in. There we go, and it's in. And then I've also bought little washers that click in to stop it coming loose when it's driving. So I've done that on all of them as well. Alright guys, here's the finished plumbing for the recirculating shower. I'll just go through it for you. This comes up from the shower tank, comes up here, all the way along to the elbow, comes through. I've got a shut off valve here, so I can clean this filter out if I need to, or shut the water off completely on the system. Goes through the John Guest connections. There will be a hose coming out of this, which allows me to clean this when I need to do it. Comes through, comes into the little filter here before the pump. This is my Series 51 Seaflow 12 volt pump. Comes out. I'm using just a little 90-degree elbow from John Guest. Same again down here, just saves me on a John Guest connection. Comes down here so I can shut it off again, so I can isolate each part of it to not let water through. Then it comes down through another elbow, comes into the filtration system, 20 micron, 1 micron, 0.5 micron, comes out up into the UV filter. Out from the UV filter, once again there's shut off valve, comes down, comes through a one-way check valve, so the water can only go one way. Down into the hot water system, through the hot water system, comes back out and into the tap, which I'll go inside and show you. And also it comes out from there for the shower rose. I was going to put some John Guest connections on this, but I thought if it's got a good bend, good radius on it, so I'm not going to put them on, because it's the less chance of leakage if you haven't got a connection there. So that's why I've done it that way. Alright guys, this is the inside of the shower. This is where the shower handle goes. So, because it's a recirculating shower, there's no cold coming into it, so I've blocked that off. This is the hot water coming in. Just elbowed it across. Comes up, back through here, then it's coming up through the roof. And what it'll do is it'll go through this hole here, and I'm going to have to put something around here so it doesn't fray on that, and also just up here as well. And this is where the shower rose is going to sit. It's going to come down here from the roof. Now I've got to keep it as close as I can, because I haven't got a lot of clearance. Carolyn's okay, but I've got to just keep it as close as I can to the ceiling that will be going in here. It's going to be tight, but it'll be all right. If I have to bend down a little bit, so be it. So guys, that's the recirculating shower plumbing into it. I've got to do the drainage out of it back into the shower tank, which I'll continue to do. I'll spin you around. Queensland is not great again. We're expecting rain for the next week, so I don't know how much I'll get done. However, that is the recirculating shower plumbing. So if you've got any questions, you're not sure of anything, or you want to put a comment in, whatever, just do it below in the comments. I'll answer as much as I can on any of the questions that come through. Once again, guys, thanks for subscribing to our channel. We do appreciate it. We're building up a bit of a community, which is really good. If you haven't already subscribed, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and like this video, and also hit the notification bell so you can get notified when we put new video out. Alright guys, I hope your build's going well, and for now I shall sign off and we shall talk to you next video. Alright guys, have a good day. See ya.